It sure did.
Mm-hmm. You're live.
Hey.
So I'm gonna tell y'all right now, people. We waiting on my mama.
8:01.
For what reason? I have no clue. Because she asked me at 6 o'clock. What time?
She had to do her hair.
6 o'clock.
I gotta look good with my girls.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? If I don't look good, they pack me up. So I gotta do something.
Hold on, let me share. Let me share.
Motherhood.
Hey. Thank you all for joining. This one is a little bit different because we have evacuated. We're at my sister's house in Georgia, and I decided to actually do our Queen Talk with my sister and my mom. And look, we was almost coordinated, y'all. Didn't even know it.
I know, right?
Should have probably been in the middle. So the two, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh well. So anyway, had I known what we were wearing, we probably would have did that, but we're not. So today's topic is all about motherhood, but I'm going to give you all a second to join. So go ahead, make sure that you click that share button, and invite other people to the party because we're talking about motherhood. Woo! All mothers, our mother. And we're just going to discuss a few things in reference to motherhood. Hey, Angela. Thank you for joining, girl. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
Let me see. I need to see on both panels. So I can see when people are typing there, too. Because that comes from YouTube. All right. Hey. Thank you for joining. Go ahead and share. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Just go ahead and invite, and we're going to get started. Okay. Today's topic, motherhood. Dun, dun, dun. Lord Jesus, let's say a prayer. Heavenly Father. No, seriously. Look, we all start praying for real. No, but we really do. This topic can be so what's the word? It can be touchy to a lot of people because we're adults. My sister and I. My mom, she's already did her part, and now we are actually mothers to children. My sister has teenagers. I have a toddler. And motherhood is something, it doesn't matter how many manuals you read, what you may look at, what advice you may be given. It's truly a journey, and you learn along the way.
Right.
So we're going to have some candid conversations in reference to motherhood. And I just want to preference by stating it's not about... You smile. What are you doing?
I'm looking at myself.
It's not about placing a blame. It's not about what we're doing wrong. It's all about just having a candid conversation amongst us girls and being able to have a conversation with you all as well. So please chime in as you see fit, and we'll just continue this conversation going forward. So that's what this is all about. So to start off, I first would like to ask the question of, did your thoughts of motherhood match your reality of motherhood? Who would like to start?
I can remember my thoughts of motherhood was just to... I just wanted to have a baby that I can love and love forever. So... the thought of unconditional love, now that they're teens, I'm like, oh my goodness. What's going to happen when they turn 20? Like, I'm going to be the bad person. But no, my thoughts of motherhood, it was, no, it's not. the reality.
Not the reality. What about you, Mama? Was your thoughts of motherhood, did it become your reality?
No, not really, because the thoughts. Well, I wanted to just like Shatiri, I can relate with you because I wanted to have kids to love me, and then I love back, and stuff. And it was never like you have to raise this child, and stuff. And it was just unconditional love. I wanted that unconditional love.
Yeah.
And then, and stuff, when they get older, then they got into teens, it was
yeah, they don't love you.
It was like, yeah, no.
Like you thought?
No. I literally had a baseball bat.
Mm-hmm.
She can tell you about my baseball bat that I used to carry around. But,
hot sauce.
So, and then when they get older in 20s and stuff, I think that's when you started coming around.
When I started having my own kids and understanding.
Yeah. When she started having her own kids and stuff. Say, okay, now I understand where you was coming from, and so
your mom
it's a little
can't
easier.
fix everything.
Yeah.
They try, but we can't fix everything.
Yeah.
Interesting. So for me, I have a toddler. So my experience is a little bit different. But it actually still is the thoughts that I had of what motherhood would be like ain't nowhere near what it actually is. Yeah. Because my whole vision was, okay, so we're going to have this perfect schedule and he's only going to eat smoothies in the morning. And I had like this whole thing of what it would be. Yes, I did follow my app when I was pregnant. Yep. They would get on my nerves talking about that app. And I was like, well, the app says that. They were like, girl, you don't shut up about this app. But that's how my mind was going in the beginning. It was all about trying to follow the instructions given by the experts. Yes. And hopefully be able to be a great mother through that.
Right.
Well, for you all who know Creed, he has definitely made me rethink everything in that app. Yeah. As well as, just every single day, I'm like, this is not what I envisioned motherhood to be like. Like, I wanted to go strictly by a specific schedule. I wanted to be the Pinterest mom. Yeah. Let's just be real. Yeah, that ain't real. No, the end of story. So absolutely no. My thoughts of motherhood does not match the reality. No. At all. At all. So moving on into the next question, I know a lot of people struggle with how they consider success when it comes to motherhood. So I would love to hear, how do you define success within motherhood?
I think success is allowing the village to help raise the child. That's success to me, because I know I don't know everything, and those before me could help. It was hard at first to take their advice and let them, help with raising Cam and Lena. But the success was learning to just listen and know that I didn't know everything, and communication with my kids. I don't want them to go to bed mad at me. I don't want to go, to bed mad at them. So communication is success. As long as we can have like an open understanding, like you understand me, I understand you. We had a successful day.
Day. So day by day, right?
Yeah, day by day.
All right. What about you, Mom?
Yeah.
Now your kids are grown.
Yeah. Now my kids are grown and stuff. What I feel is successful is that I'm learning myself. And what I mean by that is that just because you're my child, that don't mean that you don't know more than me, because I'm still learning. Right. And everyone is still learning, and that's what you need to understand. Just because that's your child, that don't mean that they wrong. And some things, because I tried to raise minds that, every individual, I used to tell them all the time, because they used to say, well, you didn't punish such and such like you punished me. Well, y'all all individual, and so that's what I had to learn when I got older, about being individual, as I taught y'all that y'all was individual. So that's success to me.
That's good. For me, I mean, listening to both of you all, I get kind of emotional hearing both because on one hand, talking about, understanding that it does take a village to raise a child. For me, I don't feel like I have that village on hand. Like when I was, I'm the oldest, but I'm the one that waited later in life to have a child. But when I saw my sister or I saw my brother with their kids and family, there was always so many people around them. Like I feel like they had, like, if they failed, somebody was going to be there to catch them. They had that true village. I was able to see it. And a lot of that village I saw within my grandmother because I feel like she was
the root
of, like, you knew if you needed someone to kind of lean on or help guide the way, or even if I just need a break, take them kind of thing. You knew she would be that person that would be there that didn't have anything else, but her lot in life was to love on kids. So you knew that you had that. And for me, my grandmother passed away just a couple months prior to me having Creed. And then going through such trauma in the beginning years of being a mom, like where, the divorce, that's a whole nother bucket. A tumultuous divorce, put that on top of it. But also then we were rescued from Harvey. My son was only 2 months old. So we were displaced for almost 2 years of his life. We just got into our own place. It'll be a year in November. So having that part, so not being in a stable environment where you can feel like you have the village around you, and then realizing that the village no longer is here for me. So I've always desired that, but I don't feel it. So that's a hard one for me. I completely understand seeing success in that because I do believe that there's so much we can gain and learn from other people who have been there before you. And then, on the other hand, like with what you were saying, Mom, like you never should stop learning and you can learn stuff from your children. Creed teaches me something about me every day. Every single day. So I completely get that part. And he's only 3, so I can only imagine when he's 30. I'm like, seriously, I feel like I learned something more about myself within this motherhood journey more than I have ever in the entirety of my life. No matter what I was doing, no matter, work and all of that, that has nothing on motherhood. So,
that's a big part of motherhood.
Thinking about what defines success, I'm like, if I made it through the day. Day by day. If I made it through the day. Woo, what in the books? I'm successful. If he going to sleep talking about he love me. I'm alright. So yeah. So that was a good one. What do you feel has been the most difficult task you experienced as a mother? You go first, Mom.
Me. Not this way.
She's not playing. That is a fact.
And by the way, let me give some hays because people are saying hey and I'm not saying hey back. Hey y'all. Hey niece. Hey Sherelle. Hey Ladrika. Hey Michael. Hey Assad. Hey boo, how you doing? Hey Trinity. Hey all of you. Thank y'all for watching. Okay, go ahead.
Sherelle said maybe you won't.
Oh, hey, Sherelle.
So that's Sister Clay.
Yes. Okay.
So what do you feel has been the most difficult task you experienced as a mother?
Oh my, the most difficult task. I mean, I can't pinpoint one difficult task, but I feel my difficult task I feel is that raising a boy by myself. And as you were speaking about, losing your grandmother, Marcus, he lost his grandfather at that time, and that was like the only man that he had, So every time something I had to, correct him or anything, I brought him to my dad. So, then at the time when I lost my dad, and stuff, it's like I lost a part of him too. Because, he just froze, because the last thing I can remember, he was nothing but.
If I was 3,
Marcus was 5.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus was only 5 years old. And he was like, he came up to me and he asked me, he said, well, why every man, that I love leave me? And I was like, you can't.
How you respond?
Yeah, how can you respond to something like that, and stuff. And so, because he was very, very close to his grandpa and stuff. And so, that's to me was the most hardest thing for me because I was trying to raise a boy, without a male figure, a strong male figure in his life, so that's kind of, hard for me. That was the hardest thing for me.
Right.
What about you?
Difficult for me was kind of hard.
I know, huh?
What was difficult? Teenagers are very difficult. Trying to understand them. I'm not too far. I always remind them, look, we're not too far in age. I know how I feel to be a teenager, but it's also for my son, and I explained that to him.
Yeah.
Like, I remember being a teenager, but I wasn't a boy, so I don't know what you are going through, or, and I asked his dad, help me understand what is he going through right now, because his whole attitude, just this time last year, he would sleep with his door open, his room door open. I told him that the other day. And if we was to cut off the hallway light, he'll cut it right back on and before we get in the bed. And we like, dang, we thought Ken was asleep. Like he couldn't go to sleep without the hallway light on.
Yeah.
And now, shoot, the hallway light be off, the room door was closed. And I'm like, well, what the heck is going on? Just, right before we moved here, you were still sleeping in the bed with me. Now you're 15 and I don't know what's going on. And it's always, my kids will bring up the worst things I do. They hold on to what you did wrong, what you didn't do, what you said wrong, how you said it, and not focusing on my
positive
intentions. My intentions is not to hurt your feelings. My intentions is not to make you feel small or you don't know something. I'm just passionate, and I done said it one time nice, now I'm saying it twice. So you gonna get it how I give it to you the second time. You ain't listen the first time. But that's difficult for me to make them in the moment recognize I'm not fussing at you because you dumb or you stupid or you don't know nothing. I'm fussing at you because I already said it nice. You didn't hear me because you got selective hearing. And now this is the second time I'm telling you. Now that's why I'm yelling or, saying like I'm mad at you.
Right.
But it's not to say that you are, you are the best part of me. When I want people to see you and you're a reflection of me.
You. Right.
Yeah. I think for me, the most difficult part of the most difficult task I've experienced thus far as a mother has been being a mother to a son alone. I still remember, and I've talked about this before, but I still remember when I was pregnant, I would question. I did not want to be a single mom. I was like, if I was going to be a single mom, I would have preferred to do it where I went to go and get artificially inseminated. I didn't have to deal with the other person. Like that to me would be single motherhood. Not single motherhood. And, there's another person attached to our little tiny human. And I remember my brother, he was the one that kind of, he meant the best. I didn't see it at the moment, but he was telling me that God had chose me to be a single mom because he knew I would do such a great job. And I was like, boy, that ain't no encouraging words to me. I wasn't trying to hear that. But then he used LeBron James as an example, and he would go on about paying attention to not what he's done on court, but what he's
Right.
done off court,
Right.
and how that's a huge reflection of his mother. And, you know, how he speaks so highly of his mom. And he was like, that's you, sis. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, you're a mother to be
Right.
to a God. Like, God chose the right one. You know how to nurture, you know, someone's dream. You're going to do it right. And that touched me so hard. And I was like, oh, that's so beautiful. But then being in the midst of it, it's been one of the most difficult tasks because I'm not a man. I don't want to be. I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to take the father figure role in no way whatsoever.
Right.
And just figuring out the small things. Like, listen, potty training was a huge task for me. I'm a female. You know, like, I mean, like, I will never forget. It was like, you tell him to shake. I'm like, what else am I supposed to tell him about? I don't want him to drop pee everywhere. You know, like, I don't know. Tell me what I'm supposed to say. You know, but even that may see something that's minuscule to other people, but it's easier to teach a girl, if you're a girl, how to actually properly use the bathroom.
Right.
But I do not have the same parts as my son. So teaching him how to use the bathroom. I mean, he's potty trained and all of that, but I'm saying the task was difficult.
Right.
So one of the most difficult tasks I've experienced is truly all of it, being a single mom to a son and a black son at that, because I haven't even crossed the line where he's no longer considered cute to now he's a threat. Right. And that's not something I want to experience, but I know I will have to.
Right.
So that's it. And it's interesting how we all talked about kind of the same thing. And I mean, you're not a single mom, but still it's a struggle because you're a female raising a male.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So now that we've talked about what has been difficult, why don't we share what has been rewarding? But before that, let me just share something I saw somebody writing. Ladrika says, success is when your kids are grounded and you see, they're grown and you see what you have told them. They were listening and hearing what you've done. So they basically did what you taught them to do. Right. Yes, that's good. That's good. Okay. So what has been the most rewarding in motherhood?
The most rewarding, let's see.
The most rewarding thing to me is seeing my children succeeding in life, you know, because, you know, as I was being, you know, I've been a single parent all my life. And just to hear siblings, you know, saying, oh, you know, they used to tell my children that too, you know, and stuff. And I used to, you know, go off on them, you know, you don't talk to my kids like that. And, you know, telling them they're not going to be successful and yada, yada, yada because of me and da-da-da, you know, stuff. And, you know, and I used to pray all the time. And, you know, I did some bad things in my life and whatever was not, and asked God for forgiveness. And God promised me, you know, this is one of my promises he gave me. My children will be successful. You know, as long as I, you know, keep my promise to him, my children will be successful. And that's the most rewarding thing, you know. And I know God keep telling me over and over again, it's not over yet. Nope. It's not over yet, you know, and stuff. And, you know, my baby girl, she has her own business. My oldest daughter have her own business. My son, he's so, oh my God, he's so loving. I'm serious. He's such a loving man. Such a loving man and such a loving husband and, you know, and father, you know, and stuff. And I know God has a big plan for him, you know, and stuff. And because God done told me this, and I know it's there for him. So all my children are successful, you know, every last one of them. And that's the biggest, brightest thing, you know, in my life today.
Good. What has been most rewarding in motherhood for you?
Oh, the most rewarding thing is I have a pair, a boy and a girl. And, you know, I have a mama's boy that was born on Mother's Day. And my husband have a daddy's girl born on Father's Day. So that was the most rewarding thing. And, man, they act just like us. Like, they don't think I listen to everything, you know, I pay attention. And it's like a miniature version of Shateria and Alan. They pick up, they just do. Like everything. You say, everything. Cam has his dad mannerism. Lena have her mom mannerism. And the most rewarding thing is like, dang, I just love them so much. And my daughter is graduating senior.
Yes. I would say for me so far, because Creed is only 3, but what has been the most rewarding experience for me so far is when I see him and I do see myself. Like, sometimes they have to remind me. So I'm like, where did he hear that? From his mama. You know? Like, he'll be like, hey guys, TGIM! It's Monday! I'm like, the camera's not rolling.
Yeah.
But okay. You know, he'll be like, did you get it? I'm like, did I get what? The picture. Oh, I didn't know he was taking one. Let me go ahead and take a picture. And he's so funny. So funny. So he acts so much like me. And I see that. I'm seeing it every single day more and more and more. Yeah. So I think that's something that has been highly rewarding for me. And just being able to see this little human being unfold like every single day. Right. There's something new. And it's always so exciting. And I truly do feel that he has some of the best qualities, like from myself and his father. So that definitely does bring joy to my heart.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. What has been the best advice you've ever received on motherhood? I got mine, but I'm gonna say mine. What has been the best advice?
Oh Lord, I have so much. Best advice.
Oh my.
I mean,
this girl said, what is mannerism? Let me respond to my niece real quick. The way that you act, you walk, all of the things, even the way you hold yourself. When you hold that smile right now, that's the mannerism of your mother. I just thought I'd let them know because my niece, she is so much like my sister. My sister always says she's like me. She acts like me, but she does everything like her. Mm-hmm. Like them faces and stuff. I'm like, Lord, today. All right, go ahead. Now, what has been the best advice you've received on motherhood?
So many, so much. So from when they first came into the world, Granny's advice, like how to wash their knees in the dishwater after you wash your pots, so they can start walking and build their legs. When before they started school, school starts at home. You don't.
That's right.
You're not supposed to rely on the teachers to teach your children.
Come on,
that's
good advice right there.
At home, or they gonna go out and embarrass you.
Mm-hmm.
Then, as they became teenagers, she was big on adolescence and explaining to me all the different, things adolescents go through.
Like she be thinking her kids crazy, and I'm like, they're not crazy.
That just helps me understand. Oh, that's why I was acting like
that. Exactly. That's why you had issues. I mean, they got the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just their bodies are changing. That's all.
I didn't have so much good advice. Other things is like things people told me to do. You know how like you have examples of what not to do? Yeah, I have a whole lot of examples.
I can write a book on them.
No, I'm not going to do that to my child. No, I'm not going to do that. So,
yeah. Yes. Thank you, Lawana. She says, awesome conversation, ladies, watching from YouTube. Appreciate it. Okay, what has been your best advice you've received on motherhood?
Oh, wow. I had a lot of good advices, but the best advice I had, my mom always told me to be me and to give love,
Mm-hmm.
And when you give that love, the love will come back to you in return you give it.
That's good. That's good. The best piece of advice I've received thus far on motherhood, I will say came from Aunt Trina. Mm-hmm. Most people know I don't call Aunt Trina because we just a few years age difference. Although we are not in the same checkbox, I want to make sure that I make that clear. But the best piece of advice she gave me, was when Creed was just a few weeks old. Okay, so most know that Creed was actually born premature, and we were in the hospital for a while, but he mastered, he was so strong coming out of it. And I remember there were so many different thoughts that would be running through my head when I returned home and what people were saying to do, and the one that stuck was, and Trina said to me, she looked me dead in my face, she said, let me tell you something. The only person that's the parent to this child is you. People can tell you so many different things, but you have to first listen to the voice inside of you, because that's God speaking. And at the end of the day, you have to be bold enough to make the right decision for your child. And I was like, okay. She was like, so they can give advice. You don't always have to take it. Know what you need to stick and know what you don't need to keep. But don't feel like you have to take all of it. And that's the whole point. Like what you were saying, some things you learn what not to do. So, I think that was such a great piece of advice for me, because I just wanted to listen. And because I was missing my grandmother being there, I was listening to like 12 different people. And then Trina was like, girl, know what needs to stick and know what doesn't. And it's completely fine. Yeah. It's your child. I was like, okay, I got that. So that was good advice for me. All right.
Great. Very great.
Let's see. Let me see. I love to see mother and daughters together. Love you all, cousins. Oh, I love you too, Michael. Hey. Okay. So let's see. What has been the biggest life lesson when it comes to motherhood?
Life lesson, the biggest life lesson is, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yes! That's a good one.
That's true.
That's so true.
Yeah.
That's so true. What about you, Mama?
I mean, it's the same thing, I mean, it's the...
Did you get that message yet, or you just got it?
You know what? Wait till the camera's closed.
I mean, I'm asking for the audience. We would like to know. Inquiring minds.
Oh, shoot.
I think Mom got it once she became a grandmother, because I was like, we was shut down as children. We was getting yelled at and screamed at. Then I guess she got a little softer when she got her grandkids.
She became a different person. Grandchildren do something different.
She wasn't yelling and screaming at them like that. I'm like, okay.
Because we used to be like, you better watch, she gonna be talking to them crazy. And she just be like, okay, Lena. So she get a okay.
Yeah, especially with Cam. I was like, Mom, he's gonna shut down. When you yell at him, I'm not yelling, that's how I talk. Okay, but if you talk to him like that,
he's not listening.
He's gonna shut down completely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's really good. I feel like my biggest life lesson thus far with motherhood is to... What is the biggest life lesson? I don't know. Probably I think it's learning to give myself grace. Right. I think for me, I struggled with perfectionism for so long, wanting to do things the right way. I go by the book. This is how it is. No, we don't deviate. And of course, motherhood is all about deviating. There is no by the book kind of thing. Right. And so I feel like I'm still learning, because I haven't mastered it, but learning each day how to give myself grace. Right. That has been one of the biggest lessons, and learning to not forget about me as well, because I was so great at self-care and, doing things that I enjoy and that I love as a single woman. Being a mom, and it never hits me until I hear it from somebody's mouth. Talking about, okay, so what did you buy you? I didn't go in the store for me. They had a good sale and I bought Creed some stuff. She's like, you need to buy you something.
It don't matter. As long as it's smallest thing. Earrings or some sunglasses. You gotta pick you up something, because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
You know, you're going to feel exhausted.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think for me, that's
true.
probably one of the biggest reasons why I would always feel my tank going on empty.
Right. Exactly.
Was because I wasn't doing
You're not
anything
doing
for
nothing
me.
for yourself.
It was all about Creed. Still is a lot, you know. But I'm learning how to gain the proper rhythm in order to still take care of me while taking care of him.
Right.
Yes. Okay.
All
of the hearts. Thank you all. And the likes. I appreciate it. Okay. So now it comes to the question part of our conversation. So what question would either of you like to ask me, or if you would like to ask Mama, or Mommy would like to ask Tit? What question do we have to ask?
Oh, wow.
Okay. You go first, Mom.
Oh, wow.
Of course, she can go first because she ain't thought about what she wants to ask.
Yeah, I'm trying to think myself.
What can I ask Mom?
Okay.
Oh, okay. My niece is behind the scenes, and she want to ask us a question. Okay.
Okay, Mama, Nanny, what's one thing you found yourself doing that you said you wasn't gonna do, like from your childhood to your kids?
I said I wasn't gonna do, but I do.
Okay. I know one of the things, because I said so. I hated that answer. I thought that was one of the most dumbest answers to give a child. I'm like, so how are they going to learn? You know, and so I would find myself answering Creed. Then I realized, boy, you are 3 because if you don't go sit down somewhere, I said so. That's why today. And I was like, oh my God, it's always my mom. I hate that. That's one of the things. Yeah. What about you?
I said I wasn't going to do it, and I do it.
You find yourself doing it.
Oh, look, and they say that's a great question, Lena.
That is a good question. Girl, I have to think about it because there's a lot of stuff I said I wouldn't do, and I don't do it. I said I would let my kids play football in the house, and I didn't do that.
Oh, yes. And she was so serious.
You know how, like,
my kids are going to play football, and they're going to be able to do such and such.
You don't play ball in the house. Well, shoot, my kids go play ball in the house. Yeah, I'll let my kids play. Girl, that didn't come true, though. That's not no ball in my house. Yeah, so no balls thrown in the house.
That's funny.
Yeah. Oh, like when I used to catch whoopings and I used to just sit in the room crying and stuff. I was like, I'll never do that to my kids. So I whoop y'all butts and then I go back and, you know, give y'all a hug and kiss and tell y'all I love y'all. I do that because that's how we want it. And so you can understand. You know why you caught a whooping? You do? Okay, Mama love you. Bye-bye. So I did that. Mm-hmm.
I love it. All right. Did you think about your question, Mama? Did you think about your question?
Ask Mom.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Ask Mom.
Mom, what's one of your favorite memories you saw your daughters do to us, to the grandchildren?
Oh, like what she saw us do with our children.
Okay.
It's a good question. Lena trying to take my spot on Queen Time.
Oh my.
You know she ain't just like it.
I know.
Look, she looked at that phone like she got the questions written down.
Leave my niece alone.
I think it was one time I think I came visit for Thanksgiving and stuff, and you know, you was going on and on with your mom, and then she took your side and she talked to you. First, you know, she was doing the yelling, and then she stopped herself. She went cool off for a minute, and then she came back and she spoke to you. You know, and it's like, this is the reason why I started yelling. You know, because it looked like you wasn't listening to me the first time, and you know, she explained herself to you, and that was the most. Yeah, I was like, wow, I should have did that to my children.
But
because I felt like,
we wouldn't have been doing it.
Yeah, because I felt like, okay, you know, that was a pretty good way, you know, and stuff, because it eliminated, you know,
chaos.
Yeah, of you yelling and screaming and storming out the door saying you never listened to me, yada yada yada. So what she done, she had removed herself for, you know, a minute, and she came back and she was like, okay, now I can speak to you. You know, so that was a good memory. Now with it's so young with Keisha, with Creed, yeah, because I mean, Creed is like Creed owns Sunset Way apartment. When I go there, Creed say, "Come on, Mom, let's go play in my room." I'm like, oh. So she just be giggling in the background, like to say, she got you, he got you. But I don't know. But right now, I feel, yeah. I mean, it's like. You can't say nothing yet, yeah, because Creed is so young. He's still getting away with a little things.
He's running it.
Yeah. He's running Sunset Way Apartments.
Creed don't run nothing but his mouth. No, he run it. Listen, I pray for myself daily because I know I'm a punk parent. I was a punk auntie, so it just translated. I'm a little harder on Creed than I was on my nieces and my nephews.
Yeah,
so.
She was a little bit.
Because
just a little
them, I would call my sister. I would get my nieces and my nephew every summer for a week and let them come to Dallas with me, and we would just go do whatever they wanted to do, which was always the zoo. But when they would start acting up. And I would call her and I'd be like, hey, they're fighting. And I told them to sit down because, I'm the reasoning person. I'm like, let's have a talk about it, And she'd be like, girl, you don't put them on their knees and whip them. I was like, that's why. I'm like, well, they're praying. That's what they do. They gonna pray. Let them pray, and then just walk away.
Yeah, just leave them on their knees. They praying so they can get up.
I was like, no, but it's a serious prayer. It's not a fake prayer. She's like, yeah, they do that all the time. Yeah, they know how to pray. Mm-hmm. Just walk away. And I'm like, oh my God, and she's no help. And I hear my niece. They like 5 and 4. Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, I don't know why we do what we do. That's the prayer that was going on. I'm supposed to ignore that? I'm like, no, that's some serious prayer. I mean, get them, and then you hear the other one, in the name of Jesus. It was the funniest thing. I didn't know what to do. I did not know what to do. And she talking about, just leave now. Just walk out the room. It's fine. I'm like, okay. But I'm much harder on Creed than I was on them, even though I'm really not hard on Creed. Mm-hmm. But I'm much harder on Creed than I was on them because Creed.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Creed. But why, Mama?
Mm-hmm.
Creed, because it's not nice for us to do such and such. Oh, but why you don't like it?
Yeah.
Because it's not nice, and I don't want to have this conversation again. Okay, but why you don't like it though? Oh my God, I'm not talking to a brick wall. I mean, come on now. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, we'll see. Time shall tell. Because I for sure will ship him to Georgia to his Papan. Because Papan know how to get him straight. Ain't got time.
It's Paran, y'all.
Yeah, that's Paran. He calls him Papan, by the way, y'all. That's his name. Okay. What question do you have? You had enough time to think.
I have a question for both of y'all. The same question. After having your children, was there a goal set that has not been accomplished that you feel would have been accomplished if you hadn't had kids?
Oh, like had you not had children and that was something that you want to do? Mama?
Yes. But I feel like it's not because of my children. It's because of me. Mm-hmm. But I always wanted to be a kindergarten teacher.
Y'all heard that on live.
I always wanted to.
Accountable. When our kids hold her accountable, we get on her nerves and get in her business because she don't need us to tell her what to do. She said it on live.
I always wanted to be a kindergarten teacher. I always wanted, but now my goal is to open up my own business. I don't want to run it. I have this. I haven't told them yet. Surprise! But she's gonna run my business for me. I'll just have the vision. And I need. I just need the help with my daughters. They're doing so well with their business. They can handle this. But
See,
I want to open up a community center
Let's clear. They said the church needs you, Brenda Faye. Go back to the church and go and teach them children. Thank you, Sis Clay, for letting her know. Yeah. I appreciate you.
Therefore, she's not running.
She ain't running no business. The business she runs is her mouth to the children at the church. In the name of Jesus. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. That's confirmation. You heard it from 1, 2, 3.
Most big business running is easy. If we make it look easy. Is it easy?
We make it look easy.
I'm not saying it's not easy. I'm not a business person. I have a good vision.
Yes, her spot is here. Come on and preach it. Thank you. Your spot is there and they waiting for you to return to Hopewell. In the name of Jesus. All right. Go ahead. Are you done?
What is Hopewell?
That's the church.
Oh.
That's in Texas City.
Oh, okay. I was like, that's a new church?
Yeah, that's in Texas City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the community center, it is gonna have a for kids different activities and plus a tutoring center.
Where you would tutor.
Yes.
It's wonderful.
Some after school program thing.
Question for you said, is there something that we feel like we haven't done since having a child? Right, to that point. For me, I mean, most people knew I planned on moving to Spain, and it didn't happen because I got married and then had a child. Right. That's probably the only thing that runs in my head all the time, but it don't mean that I can't ever move to Spain. But I don't feel like Creed puts any limits on me. Like I'm gonna do no matter what. So no matter what it looks like, y'all know I have a doctorate in Make Do University. Ain't nothing to stop me. I will make do. The end. Good question, sister. Thank you. Okay, Mama, what question do you have?
Okay.
And as we're wrapping up, you guys, because after this, then we're gonna go into our scripture. But go ahead, Mama. Y'all can ask questions if you have them.
My scripture is to my daughters.
No, your question.
My question is to my daughters. Well, I mean, they didn't already, ask the question. They already asked the questions and stuff, and because y'all kind of like answer them and stuff. But is there anything that y'all can say? Okay, my upcoming of raising y'all, it's a stepping stone or something that y'all can hold on to or whatever.
What we can hold on to from our childhood?
Yes.
Plenty of things. So for the good thing, what I chose to do with my children is like how you used to give us our week. Yeah. And whatever you want, like you said, Keisha used to want basket and Robin, she would have that. Or I know I used to want pancakes or something. That was when I got older, but Keisha was like out the house. Yeah. Anything I would, say I wanted to eat that week, you would do it. Let me think. What I chose not to do all the yelling and screaming. I was like, I was raised in the yelling and screaming, and I just chose not to. Like I told my kid, I don't want nobody to hear what's going on in my house. Right. It's just, I guess, was traumatic.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to yell and scream at my kids like I was yelled and screamed at. And another thing, I mean, just education is number one. You always instilled in us that education was the number one important thing, and I think I'm doing a good job with teaching them that. Like, great. Don't stop learning.
That's right.
Knowledge is power. So, yeah.
I would say for me, one of the biggest things that I could take away that I know I will apply to motherhood for me is the same. It's with education. Now,
yeah, you was big on
the way that you always implemented wasn't the right way. I mean, like, we get it. You know?
That wasn't me, yeah.
We get it. But, yeah, I mean, like, she was such a stickler, which I see in myself, I've seen in my brother, and I've seen in my sister, of how you writing correctly, you know, using, you know, uppercase, lowercase, all of that, like, just paying attention to how you present your things when it comes to education, and making sure that you're doing your very best. Like, she knew if we were or we're not doing our best. And to be honest, we weren't no dumb kids. Like I was always an honor roll student. Like we all were. And even when they chose other paths, like if they didn't choose to like continue in school or something like that, it wasn't because they couldn't. Right. It was because of other life issues. It had nothing to do with the abilities. Right. So for me, I feel like education was such a the cornerstone, and that's something that I feel like I make sure is something that will be implemented within my raising of Creed.
Because as I got older, you can tell the people that parents didn't
care and
push education, and I'm like, oh my goodness. See, I'm so blessed. My mama, girl, you get one spelling word wrong. what? Oh man.
Your talk show is definitely you, cousin. Oh, thank you. I love you guys' transparency. We need it in these times. Thank you. I was just reading some of the comments. Okay. Thank you. That's a good question, Mama. Yeah. So, I mean, and the thing is, I feel like sometimes, and just to say this, and people know we didn't have a great childhood. I mean, you know, like, she didn't always make the best decisions as an adult, you know, and that affected her children. But the silver lining is, look where we are today. Like, I'll be honest with y'all, God sure don't. Like, I would never have, you know, envisioned that we would be able to have a conversation like this. And, you know, we're talking about motherhood, like, for real. I mean, because there was a time, my mama I didn't even call her mom. But look today. Oh. I'm so proud of her. She's just growing. God is good. He is. So, definitely proud of where we are today from where we've come from.
Oh, yes, most definitely.
Yeah. I mean, because, I can go down and list some things.
Yeah. And also, like, you're, you know, taking my kids, to church all the time and instilling the Bible into them and teaching them
because they know the word.
And yeah, that was from you. Yeah, majority of the time it was from you. And then I grew into I'm not gonna send my kids to church by themselves. I would always see parents that send their children to church. I'm like, and what the parent doing? Nothing, staying at home. So I knew I wasn't gonna be that type of parent because she wasn't that type of parent. She didn't just send me to church. She was at church with me. So.
Well, see, and it's interesting. We're only 5-year age difference, but our upbringing is so different. I wasn't forced to go to church with my mom. I went to church with my grandmother, like with my grandparents. I was raised Catholic. When
we was raised Baptist.
She was raised Baptist. You know, she went to church with my mom. So that's so different for me because there is a lot of things that she did with my sister that she didn't do with me. Yeah. But I watched, you know, and there are a lot of things. I wished, you know, because I was very envious of my sister younger because I felt like she got the best of my mom. Like I didn't get to have those parts of her because of things that had occurred. And it wasn't until becoming an adult and understanding different things that played a part into all of it where I was able to like let that stuff go and realize number one, everything, God can use any and everything for your good. Right. It's about you choosing to see that perspective. Right. And then just allow him to do what he will do in this season. Because this season is not from 20 years ago. That's right. You know, and if you allow yourself to bloom where you're planted, right. So have a beautiful garden.
You got a question for us?
I asked my question. All of those.
Okay.
Another question? I don't know. Anything you would like to share?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just, you know, what I want to say? It's just a beautiful thing. I'm just so happy that my mom and my sister relationship, y'all just don't know, gonna make me cry. How much I prayed and how much I was the
where it came
what you
from,
call it?
mediator.
The mediator. Listen, Lord, fix it, Jesus, fix it. And also she was there with through me and my mom had real bad communication skills, and I would talk to her and she would be just coaching me on how to communicate better with my mom. And I'm like, dang, she could coach me how to do it. It worked for me. Now it's my turn to coach her. And it worked for her too. And we just,
yes,
it's a beautiful thing. God is good.
Yes. I think that one of the things that hasn't ever been said, like with us being in a seating, I feel that you don't see the goodness in our relationship because of so much of the negative that happened. Because the truth is, there's a lot of negative. A lot. But still,
you can't dwell on
you
that.
can't, at the end of the day, no matter how bad the storm was, at the end, there's always a rainbow.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing. I would cry to my sister because I wanted what she had, and I didn't know how to do it. I'm like, well, I feel like I'm doing my part, and I don't know what else to do, kind of thing. And, gotta continue to work and do what he needs to do to bring things full circle. So, I'm not gonna lie. Still to this day, I be getting mad because I'm like, well, she used to do such and such with them grandkids. I mean, she come over and she act like Cree getting on her nerves.
Old lady.
I'm like, what's the difference? Yeah. She older. That's the difference.
I was like,
no, what the deal is? I'm getting off for work, and stuff.
I'm like, she was
a 12-hour shift. And I'm like, I'm ready to play with Cree, but Cree wants you to roll on the floor. She don't
be ready to play with Cree.
He wants you to crawl. He wants you to be like dinosaur. He wants you to run around.
Let me tell y'all this. So I went in Creed's room because he said, come on, Momo, come in the room. And I'm thinking they playing. Do y'all know what I see when I get in there? She sleep on his bed.
I had to go lay down.
I said, Creed still try to talk. Momo.
I said, please.
Momo.
I said,
it's your turn, Momo.
I said, please let Momo.
And Momo ain't doing jack squat.
Let Momo rest.
She on the bed doing this.
Let Momo rest for 5 minutes. He told me no.
No. Yeah, so that's one thing I had to explain. I was like, Mama is not that young. That's the difference. When we had our kids, she was still supposed to be having kids when we had kids.
Yep.
So she was a young grandma. She's not a young grandma now.
Oh gosh.
And of course, she didn't have a full-time job when we had our kids. So she was basically the full-time job was helping us with our kids.
Yeah. So
ain't nobody tell you to wait this late. Now you really got a grandma. You know how Bernie Mac say what the grandmas is? Like
38?
Yeah, that was her. She was
great grandma 42. Like
that's how it was.
Oh god.
Great grandma 50.
Yes, indeed. Okay, shut up, Alan. Sorry, y'all. He needs some attention, so I'm gonna give him the attention he's seeking. So now let's wrap it up by sharing our scripture that has helped us on this motherhood journey. Which one?
So many. Do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not boastful. Yep.
What scripture in particular has helped you on this motherhood journey?
Oh, man, there's just so many, stuff. I know for a fact that every time if I, needed a certain scripture for a certain thing, like, God to help me with my tongue, control my tongue. I used to go into, get my Bible out and look, for scriptures for the mouth, stuff. God cradle, close my mouth and no man can shut. Then no man can open, and shut my mouth and no man can open and shut my mouth, that part there. That really helped me, especially and stuff when my children got older, and stuff, because I always felt like I was right when I was the mama. You was a child,
Praise Jesus for
and
breakthrough.
and yeah, you don't tell me what to do. You listen and say yes, ma'am, and move on. I mean, I'm being honest. That's what so, and I had to, and what really broke me of getting a closer relationship with my children is that, so if God showed me, quit trying to look at faults with others. Look at the faults with yourself. You only can change you, so I started praying for myself. God, show me me, help me, Lord, to control my mouth, control my tongue. And when I started changing, and people around me started changing.
I started controlling
That's
my
what
mouth.
happens.
And that's part of life. You want somebody to change, look at yourself.
Yes.
Look at yourself.
Good.
You start changing. When you start changing, people around you will change. They will have no other choice but to change.
Yeah.
Right. Change or move on.
Right.
That's right.
Either way, it's a change.
That's right. That's right.
For me, 2 scriptures in particular that is helping me along this motherhood journey. Number 1 in Proverbs, when they say, train up a child in the way it should go.
Mm-hmm.
And, when he gets older, he will not depart from it.
Mm-hmm.
So that one for me helps me a lot because I continue to think about making sure that I'm instilling God principles in my son and making sure that he knows thus says the Lord.
Right.
Versus thus says mama. Because even mama can be wrong.
Right.
And then the other one that's helping me along this motherhood journey is in John 11. Jesus wept. If Jesus could cry, it's okay that I cry too. And I say that because throughout my adulthood, I struggled with being vulnerable and understanding that vulnerability does not equal weakness.
Right.
So
right.
I'm a big old crybaby. I cry because Creed wouldn't let me sleep. I just I cry because he wanted to watch the same thing 12,000 times. Like whatever it is. I say that because it's giving me the peace in being able to release and move forward and know that it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm human.
Right.
I'm not a machine, a robot, superhero, none of that. I'm human. And that's why those 2 scriptures in particular help me, of course, with the entire Bible. But those are the ones that stand out the most. Right. So, thank you all for watching. This has been completely phenomenal. Have you ladies enjoyed it?
Oh, of course.
Yes! And we're going to go and celebrate with a glass of wine. But just want to say thank you. I truly appreciate you all tuning in for this special edition as we are evacuated. But we still have the opportunity to have some queen talk.
All right.
So I just want to say thank you, Mama, for coming on. Thank you, Sister, for coming on. I appreciate you both. Look, Creed standing over there like, you ain't saying thank you to me. I done been up there for a whole hour.
I love you, Creed.
Come on, Creed.
Come on.
Come tell the people bye.
How you guys? If y'all would see
Why
his
are you looking
face.
right
Come on, Creed.
You gotta see his
Come
face,
on.
y'all. He's such a
Oh,
character.
jeez. Look.
Tell the people bye.
Tell him bye, Creedy.
Bye.
All right. What's the matter? You ready? Okay.
He said, oh.
Yeah, he ready. Okay, thank you all for watching. Simmons smile. Y'all see that? All right, y'all have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Batman. Quiet.